There we go. All right, guys. Well, already June, and welcome to the first meeting in June. And of course, this will be a round robin event for all you guys, open forum. And in terms of announcements, there are not many, but there's a few things worth besides what Andy just mentioned about the maker make. What's it called again, Andy? The make
A maker space, and there are many across the country. This one's up in Nashua, New Hampshire,
and it'll be this Saturday.
this Saturday, 12 to 4.
All right, in Nashua. All right, well, that's good to know because you probably could, I think it would bring a lot of us who have other interests or even related interests. Like you said, there's ham. You'll be doing a ham related table, right?
Yes.
So that sounds great. And for many of us, Nashua is really not super far away.
Right.
But well, cool. Thanks for raising awareness because I was completely unaware, blissfully so, on this. So
So I just texted the address out to everybody and hope to see a couple of you there.
super. So above and beyond this event that's right around the corner, actually on Saturday, June 13th, I guess that's the same day, Andy, though, there's the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut swap meet. And that's in Windsor, Connecticut. So it's for many of us, noticeably further away. For me, it's like in a good hour and 15, 20 minutes. But anyway, that's from on Saturday, June 13th from 8 a.m. to 12. And of course, go to their website for more information. And on the same day, Andy, you have some stiff competition here. Is the New England Wireless and Steam Museum 5th Annual Wheels and Wireless Car Show. So they will have some, that goes from 9 to 3, also on Saturday. So this coming weekend, there's lots to do.
Yeah.
And on the 14th, on Sunday, there's the Records Shows Maine. Now, that's not going to be close by because that's in Portland, Maine at the Fireside Inn. That also runs from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And since we were talking about it a little earlier before the meeting started, the next Flea at MIT Swap Fest is on June 21st on Saturday, and that'll be at the usual MIT's Electronics and Ham Radio Flea Market.
Let me just add one momentary comment on that, John.
Sure.
In general, the first two and the last one of those meets are by far the best because the students have either just gotten there or are leaving, and there's much more action at those. So April and May are good, and October is the last one. If you're going to go, those are really much better.
What about the September 20th one? Because the students should be back in, Tom. Do you think that would be a good one to make?
It's okay. It's not quite as good as those two. But,
good to know. Because hopefully I'll be in town. I would like to make one. It's just, April, May were just not possible. I have way too much going on with my move.
But John, can you clarify the June date, please?
Absolutely. For the
MIT Flea?
Yeah, that's June 21st.
Okay, I thought you had said Saturday. June 21st is Sunday, but okay.
Oh, it's a Sunday. My apologies. You're right. It is a Sunday.
It's always the third Sunday in every month, except for those that it isn't held.
You're right. Sorry about that. Like I said, yeah, you're right. I should have known that, and I don't know why I said Saturday, but thank you for clarifying.
Sure.
So we have a bunch of things going around this weekend. Did I miss any other announcements besides Andy's? Anything else that I should have mentioned? All right. Well, what better way to start the meeting? Let's do a bit of round robin. I know that we got off a great Spring Brookline, so those who attended might have actually come home with some things. I can speak to being one of those who took a few things home, and Russ, maybe who knows? I know you sold a few things. Maybe you did something to replace them. Good to see you, by the way, Russ. I belated greeting to people who jumped in while we were talking, like Joe from Michigan and Greg, of course, and Noah and Bob Bennett. Always good to see you guys. So what do I why don't I just start? Let's see here. Let's go. I'm going to pick on Rob because he was the first one to join the Zoom meeting. So I may as well pick, you can bat lead off.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. I just got to find out how to share my screen.
Ah, well, I did enable sharing privileges, so hopefully it will not be my fault this time.
Enable to share. So you seeing
Ah, yes.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
yeah, that's the one that I got at the Arizona thing that I was really hem-hawing, and then someone that's in this meeting convinced me to take it and help me load it into my car. Yeah, it was a good project. But
It's,
I'd say it's more like a 5, meaning from 5 feet it looks pretty good. I wouldn't get too close to it.
well, even still, I think you're being I think it's in pretty fair shape.
Yeah, I wanted to do more with woodworking, and so I read up on grain fillers instead of just fillers. And what happened is the wood had small scratches through it, right? And when you use grain filler, that makes them highlight. So I don't know, Well, anyways, that's what it looks like. And gotta move
It's a
this.
nice looking radio though, and it was free, Rob.
Yeah, free. And this was the front panel. The one thing that was really weird is I took it out, right? And after I finished it, got the radio running, put it back in, I had to shim the chassis to get the knobs and the faceplate to line up. And I
Really?
never figured out why would I have to shim it? Unless there were shims. Yeah, when I got it, I didn't even try to plug it in or anything. See, when you get close, you can see where the little nicks and things of they just start, and there's a big streak right here. That's just a scratch, and some areas where the wood filler. Well, anyways, it was fun to do, and
30, 40 years of smoking and the nicotine and stuff will fill that right in. You won't even notice.
Yeah, right. It has a nice backlit dial there.
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a great
This is
looking
just
radio.
the knob up there is what you pull out to hit the cones when you're tuning it.
Okay.
But if I pull it out or push it in, if there's no cone, it mutes.
Coming up, 8-1 for the Cubs. Your Giants to the lead. They can make a big ball on ESPN Radio and ESPN, presented by Progressive Insurance.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I had to guess where the arrow was because the everybody else's picture is over where the arrow was, to move. So, anyways, yeah, that's that, and I like the sound of a baseball game on the old radio. I think that's the best thing. I don't know, maybe it's just I just remember, people sitting in a garage before air conditioning, and there'd be the old man with a beer, a cold beer, and an old radio there cranked up with the sound of the baseball game. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Well, the Diamondbacks certainly broadcast on AM. Because I picked it up on my.
I just like the sound of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it's just fun because I got my Aviola radio. I tuned into the Diamondbacks game. I was like, wow, it's pretty good. It's kind of fun. And I'm surprised how well it worked.
Oh, I can see that on the glare here, I did use a Minwax paste.
Okay.
That was supposed to really bring out the shine. And I let it dry, but I'll tell you, every time you touch it, you could see it, So, anyways, more of an adventure in woodworking than anything else.
Still, I mean, that's a nice looking radio.
Mhm.
Yeah. I actually bought the Philco decals also. So I could sand that all down. That was all taken down to bare wood and like I said, grain filler, sanding. And see, here's where the edges of this was chipped and the grain filler highlights it now.
Oh, sure.
So lesson learned. I'll get to it later. Next one will be better.
You can always need Greg to fly out, make an emergency house call.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it looks good.
It does. I think it looks quite nice. I mean, I would be happy with that, just if you want to do regular listening.
Yeah. Well, now I get to walk around it. It's my basement's cramped. This thing's going to be right by the door. Anyways,
That's
all
okay.
right.
I love it.
Do you stop share or?
I can do it for you if you like. It looks like
Oh, I
looks
don't
like
know what I am now.
I can stop you if you'd like.
Yeah, would you please?
Sure. No
Oh,
problem.
there we are.
There you go.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
No problem. So let's see here. Um, hey Greg, what's going on in Wisconsin?
Well, we're having some severe weather the next 2 days. Today we had some more tornadoes nearby, and tomorrow's supposed to be worse. So we're dodging the bullets here. But we had our New Berlin swap meet Sunday,
Okay.
one with a bunch of radios, and well, I can show off some recent projects that I finished. I don't have the before pictures, but just a few radios that I.
Yeah, of course. No, we want to know and of course, nothing better than those before after, um, the before and after photos, um, they are always fun to see when you work your magic.
All right, let's see what we can come up with here.
And by the way, while you're sharing, I just want to welcome Anthony. This is his first Anthony Laversa here. It's his first Zoom meeting. I think he was sitting in the background listening, but just want to welcome. Always enjoy having new people attend, and Anthony, hope you'll enjoy. And if you ever want to share anything, just raise your hand or just drop a note in the chat if you want to share something, because this is an open forum round robin, so it'll be a recent acquisition, ongoing project, or whatever's going on. It doesn't have to be precisely on topic.
See here. I don't think it's showing up, is it? No. Try this again.
I like that picture of your speedometer when you were doing 145 miles an hour.
That must be a website. Try this. Oh.
Yeah, some of these things are a little
Yeah, it's not
reluctant. Hey, take your time. So don't sweat it, Greg.
not coming through today. Oh. Here's one anyhow.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. We're gonna share it again.
I don't think it's coming through tonight. I think we might have to skip it.
Well, if you can, we can always circle back to you, Greg. So it's not like
Yeah, we can try that.
Yeah, let's circle back to you, but it's won't be a problem. So
Technology.
but yeah, it's probably something silly. And well, for what it's worth, I know Andy had to reboot his machine. He's on a Linux machine, but he had to reboot, so he was having some audio problems. So, there are some weird things going on. But
I was trying to show them off of the email, and I think all I got to do is save them to the gallery and pick them out of the gallery again.
yeah, maybe that's what you have to do, and you might be able to do it in the background while we're talking here.
Well, I'll do it. Yeah.
But well, let me then just move on. Let's see here. Hey, John Comer. Let's talk about what you've been up to.
Well, just usual. In New York, Long Island, we have on the first Sunday of each month our own Long Island group meeting, and we've been doing this for about 35 years. And there's no official club. There's no president, no vice president, no dues. We just meet in a parking lot at one of the Long Island Railroad train stations. And we're not even supposed to be there. We're technically squatting there the first Sunday of the month. We started sunrise. And so anyway, it was this past Sunday. And, but I did want to show some photos here today. I found some photographs the other day here, and hold on a second. I scanned them, and when I say photographs, I mean like this type of photographs of a TV I bought about 25 years, and it's kind of a rare one. And I took like 3 photographs of it, and they're kind of grainy. They're not great, but you'll get the idea of this. It's kind of a rare thing. So let me go to share,
Okay.
and this will be the first photograph. Let me know when it comes in. I don't know if anyone knows what this is.
RCA, what model is that?
TRK5.
Yes.
All right, this is a 1939 television.
Wow.
With a
Look at that.
5-inch screen. Comes with a radio which is AM and a low band and like a regular shortwave band. And this was really one of the first RCA TVs. And they also, at that period, had the ones with the mirror in the top, where you would see them. And they also had a tabletop one. But this is an example. I have another photo of it here. Hold on, this is more of a close-up.
Oh, wow.
Now, it was push button. And this was, right, I did some research the other day when I found these photos, and there's only like maybe 30 of these in existence still.
I bet.
I got to be honest, I sold it very quickly because I just didn't want it laying around, which is kind of nuts. But and this is a picture. It had 2 chassis. Well, there would be the CRT.
Sure.
And then you have this. I think this one was the radio chassis, and this was the TV chassis. And you have a speaker here, and there's some kind of transformer. And I apologize for the quality of these photos, but it's anyway, it's just a very rare thing that you don't normally see. But I'll tell you the quick story of how I got it. This is about, I guess, year 2000, 2001. I used to advertise in our local penny savers, those local newspapers.
Oh, yeah.
I said wanted old radios, TVs, phonographs, stereos, called John. And a woman called me and said, hi, my dad has a 1939 TV. And I'm thinking, all right, what is she talking about? A Sony, or something like that. And I spoke to her, and we all probably have these phone calls with people. And I said, well, how do you know it's from 1939? And she goes, well, this belonged to my father, and it was bought by his father. Okay, I said, all right. And I said to her, well, how big is the screen on that thing? And she said, pretty small. And she says, and it has a radio on it also. And I said, okay. And, and I'm thinking it can't be a pre-war TV like this. It's just, they're rare. And so anyway, I made arrangements, and 2 days later, on a Saturday, I drove over. It's about 35 minutes from me here in Long Island. And I go to the house, and it's her father's house. And he's an elderly gentleman, about 80 years old. And he has an oxygen thing. And he's sitting there, and very nice guy. And he told me the story where when he was young, they were living in Queens. New York City, and his father bought this TV, which, by the way, was $295
I bet.
in that, which is, I didn't do the inflation calculator, but father bought it, and every night neighbors would come over and watch a couple of hours of TV. And he, anyway, and he just kept it all these years. And I guess he was getting older and just wanted to get rid of it. And, so I go, okay. And I haven't seen the TV yet because I spoke to him for 20 minutes, and it was the daughter and her husband take me into the basement, and there's the TV. Now, I already had done some research. I was looking at the RCA radio service notes from 1939, even before I got there, just in case it really was this TV. And everything was there that, and I noticed at the top of it, of course, someone had put a flower pot, so there was damaged up there. And I'm talking to them, and I said, do you really, so you really want to sell this, I guess? He go, yeah. I said, what do you want for it? And they said, well, we're not sure. We read up on this somewhere, and apparently there's one in the Smithsonian. And I said, and you got to understand, you can't leave the house without it, by the way.
Yeah. You're in for it.
Can't leave, period. It's you can't leave. And so, and I'm talking to them, and they said, well, and I said, well, on the Smithsonian, really? Did you call them? Maybe they want to buy it. And they go, no. And then I said, what do you want for it? They go, well, we don't know. Can you make an offer? And here's where I had to be careful because, I remember exactly. I had $307 in my pocket.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, don't offer too little, don't offer too much. And I said out of nowhere, I just guessed, I said, I'll give you $250 for it, which is more than I would usually offer for something. And they said, real? Oh, great, we'll take it. And I realized I offered them too much because they would have taken less. And it's always difficult to figure these things out.
Sure.
Anyway, we loaded it in my car, took it home, and anyway, I was speaking with someone who was very interested. I didn't want this because there's not much you could do with it. You can't watch regular TV because the frequencies were different then. So, in fact, RCA had a business of converting these pre-war TVs to after World War II to new frequencies. Anyway, a guy came over and bought it, and that was the last of it. And I happened to run into that guy recently who bought it from me, and he, in turn, I found out, flipped it, immediately because he knew someone who would buy it. I'm not going to say what he paid me for it, but he, but anyway, these TVs sell for nowadays about $10,000 to $15,000.
Wow.
So
this one's in nice shape. I mean, looking from the picture, it's a nice shape.
All right. I mean, I could do a little. I could bring it in. It's unfortunately you could see it's unfortunately the picture isn't that good. But anyway, it's just
is that dial for the TV channels and the AM or an FM?
No, it isn't. By the way, this is a 5-channel TV.
5 channel.
5 channels. And back in those years, you only had 2 hours of shows a night, and it was all kinds of weird stuff. They didn't know what to tell it. They didn't know what to put on. So they may have had some woman doing some dance, like ballet type dancing. They had, I think, maybe 5 minutes of news. They had maybe some children's thing on there, some puppets, or something like that. They had no idea what to program. They had the technology, and they experimented by putting everything they could think of on there just to see what people liked, because they had no idea how this was going to go. And it's now that radio, by the way, it was AM, shortwave, and well, I guess you call it long wave. And it looks like it had a tuning eye over here.
Oh yeah.
And it just, I mean, it's just a interesting thing. And anyway, but that's the deal on this thing. And just wanted to, I couldn't believe I found the photos the other day, and I just wanted to.
Yeah.
You have any pictures inside it, John?
Yeah, on the back, hold on here. Oh, there it is.
This is remarkable, I'll tell you, John, because
Unbelievably
I've never seen.
wonderful.
Yeah, I've never
Oh,
seen
yeah.
one.
The CRT is here.
Yeah.
Let me bring it in a little bit.
Yeah, see what we can do. Yeah.
CRT,
Yeah.
the radio chassis, and then on the bottom here is the TV chassis, and a speaker. And I could see there's you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
see it. It's a transformer here.
Yeah.
And it just, I mean, it's amazing. And I just looked up in the RCA service notebook, and yet, sure enough, this RC429, it's hard to see the numbers on it. That matches what they say in the book. And, it's just, I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing that, 5 channels. By the way, in the same year, they had a tabletop version of this, but it was only video, or only, there was no sound. You had to get a separate, basically a radio as an accessory. And that was called the Model TT5, which, believe it or not, about 8 years before this set, I bought one of those others, the tabletop version.
Wow, that's funny.
And, people, to find these in the area you live, most areas didn't have TV in the late 30s. And it's only like New York, Chicago, LA. And so someone in Boise or Maine would not have a TV. There's no reason in the 30s, because I don't think they had TVs then, TV signals. But it's just, anyway, Model TRK5 RCA.
I'm noticing that down here in Texas, where the antique television sets, like you said, that they're not down here. There's actually quite a plethora of battery sets, farm radios, because it's like farm country, so there were tons and tons of them here. There were lots of places that didn't even have electricity, so they were battery sets. There, that kind of.
I read somewhere that in some places that didn't have AC power, there were guys like milkmen who delivered fresh batteries once a week and took away the old ones, which is
batteries and milk.
Yes.
Well, in the early days of electric cars were the same kind of thing. Maybe in a place that would, if it was a gas station or some other kind of store, they might have something on the side where when your battery was running down, you could go there and you would actually swap a battery, and they would give you one that had just recently been charged, and they would take yours and charge it up to, sell off to the next person.
And, I know a number of companies like Philco or Zenith made what looked like the same cathedral radio for 110 volts. 12 volts, 6 volts. And, because they did run lines in rural communities that just had 6 volts DC on them. And to some homes or farms or stuff. It was, people forget about that. We, up until 1930 at least, I think, or World War II, most of the United States was a rural community. People didn't live in the cities. It was only really, I think, after World War II that really started to happen.
Yeah, that's probably true. So suburbanization, yeah.
let me stop the share. But anyway,
That's really cool. You're one of the
Oh,
few
wonderful,
kids with,
John.
yeah, you're one of the
Wow.
lucky few.
yeah. And oh, by the way, again, in the RCA book, you could see a picture right there
Oh, great.
Let me see if
of
we can
the
highlight
two
this. There we
with all
go.
the schematics.
You could do another quick show there, John? Because I got it highlighted so we could see it spotlighted. Could you show
Show the picture in the book.
Oh,
the
okay.
picture of the book? Sorry.
Hold on a second. Let me just open it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it talks about, well, two different ones. Actually, it talks about,
And that's the tabletop to the lower left.
yeah, that's the sound, that's the video only one, the smaller one, which I
Wow.
found, as I said, about, I don't know, 7 years prior to this big one. I've never seen another one again, nor will I.
No, for sure.
And the smaller one actually came with the original owner's manual, which was unbelievable. It was like 8 pages, and
Wow.
and you had to buy a separate audio radio device to listen to the stations.
Radio sold separately.
Or yes. Anyway, that's it.
That is cool.
Thank
Wonderful.
you for listening to this.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I enjoyed that. That's really interesting and extremely rare.
So was it that far back that they invented the expression batteries not included?
Indeed.
No, that was with the crystal sets.
Oh,
That's funny. That's funny. That's cool. Wow. Thank you, John. That was fun. So well, hey, Andy, let me go pick on you since you're there.
okay. Let me see if I can share this picture of a radio that I just repaired/restored for a friend of mine.
Sure.
All right. Let me know if this works.
It's starting to share.
Do you see a nice looking Zenith console there?
No, we're still in blackness.
Yeah,
But
you
It's
should,
coming.
we're
you
starting
could-
to share.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Yeah, sometimes there's a little bit of a delay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my network seemed to have cut out earlier, and I had to log out and log back in. So
Is the
hopefully
photo
this-
open already of what you want to show?
It is, and I just said share
Click
that
on it.
window.
I think you have to click on it after you hit share.
Okay.
Click on the photo or of
I
that you want to
did.
show.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me stop this and see if my face comes back here.
Well,
Uh-oh, that
Yeah.
seemed sent it into oblivion.
Oh.
Well, I guess I won't show you that photo, and I hope I don't have to shut down and restart to get my face to come back. But, all right, so
the man's lost his face.
Yeah.
There's
So,
a Seinfeld episode in there somehow.
There
Yeah.
probably is. But
So this past weekend, I was at Boston Harbor, and I took a visit to the lightship Nantucket. And a lightship, of course, is a sailing vessel that has a lighthouse on top of it. And they used to park those in various places in the ocean where they didn't actually have a physically constructed lighthouse. Well, me and 3 of my friends went there to operate ham radio in the radio room, and we contacted all sorts of other museum ships around the country and had a good time with that. But I was having fun looking over the old radio equipment that's still there. And one of the things they had there was a militarized radio that was made by Stromberg Carlson in the late 1940s that was still there, not operating, but I would show you the picture if I could. But, all full of tubes, nice and pristine looking inside. We even analyzed the antennas on the ship to see if maybe we could use them next time, because there's 4 or 5 sloping wires there that ought to be able to get used. But we had a lot of fun with that, and made 158 contacts with also with 6 or 8 different ships that contacted us. So if I could have shown you the pictures, that would have made it more interesting, I'm sure. Maybe next time they'll work.
well, it's not a problem. I mean, if you somehow are able to recover, we can absolutely call back on you again, Andy. It's
Okay.
definitely not that formal, but you just, I guess, you're having some teething problems on your end.
Yeah, I've never had this problem before. I don't know why it's happening today, but oh well.
It always happens at inopportune times. That's
Sure
how
it
I
does.
find it. That's
Yep.
for sure. Yeah, see what you can do in the background, and
Okay.
if you think you can, just like give a shout in, and we'll call back on you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh yeah, not a problem. So, hey Russ, how's it going?
Good, John.
What's going on in your neck of the woods?
I picked up a few things at the show.
Great.
I'll see
That's
if I have any luck sharing the screen.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I know. Hopefully this is not some sort of like, disease spreading amongst the attendees here.
Okay. How's that?
No, we have darkness. It just says, oh, there you go. Yay. There we go. We got a TO in front of us.
Okay, so this is a 8G005Y. I picked that up. It's on the bench now, working on it. It's actually playing quite well.
Hmm.
Haven't done any real cleaning to it yet, so this is how it is currently.
Oh, okay. So it looks like in pretty reasonable shape.
Yeah,
It's actually in very nice shape. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Did you get this from John Weatherall?
No, from George, W1LSP.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Showing it to me, and well, I guess that needs to come home. So, and if we can switch to the next thing here.
That's a really good looking Zenith. Yeah.
See if this.
Everything looks intact. And just looking all around. It's like, wow.
Trying to move to the next one. Don't know how. Let's see if we.
No problem. You could try, if it doesn't work, you can try unsharing and then resharing. Sometimes that works.
And what I do is just before I put all three of my photos in the same folder.
Yeah.
And that way
Yeah.
there'll be an arrow on either the right or left side of your screen, and you could just
Right.
move along.
And that's what I did. See if this changes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got another one.
Okay, this is another one. This is A600, and this one was on the free table. And I thought, well, I have one, I might as well have two.
You're kidding. That was on the free table?
It is, yeah. It's
Wasn't there for
it had a
long.
tag saying that it works. The dial string's broken, needs new power cord, and you can see the where the log is up here, that little plastic, the hinge is broken. But anyway, so that'll be something fun to work on.
For free. Wow. That's
Yeah,
a
I had actually
score.
saw it before at the person's table with a $5 thing on it, and I was going to go back and buy it, and I walked out, and well, there it was. So there were actually two others. I snagged this one. Next is something that I didn't get at the show, but it came 2 days after the show. This is a Pearson Delane PR15. You may also see them as a Patterson.
Yeah, that's what I thought was a pack. I've seen the Patterson. I think Larry Sendry has a PR14.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah, it was very unusual. I'd never seen one before, and I don't usually want to buy a heavy radio on eBay, but the guy had pretty good reviews for shipping, although his methods were rather unconventional, but it arrived safely, along with its speaker, which doesn't show in this picture.
What year is that? That's really neat. I've never seen one.
I've done some research on it, and of course, I can't think of what it is right now. I'd have to look back at the paperwork. It actually came with a lot of different papers, even old photos of it by previous collectors. We all came with it, so haven't even started it yet.
I think the 14, if memory serves, is around 1934, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll have to look if I can dig to the paperwork. And then something I did pick up at the show, SX28 with the speaker. It works, but it's not anything that I'm ready to start actually actively restoring yet. So that'll be maybe a wintertime project.
Wow. Yeah, you came up with some good stuff there.
Yeah, yeah, not too bad. It's pretty good few days really if you count the Pearson arriving
Yeah.
UPS a couple days after the show.
That's interesting. That was because I was pretty sure, and I could be wrong, that Larry's radio, I thought said Patterson directly on there. So were they like, were they buying Patterson uh pieces and putting their own name on that? Or I wonder how that worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll look back at the info that I have on when it was made. There's actually, again, as I mentioned, a Patterson 15, and there's a lot of information. Well, not really a lot of information about the engineer Pearson who worked for Patterson, and then somehow came up with his own name on it. And
Which,
that is about it for me.
wow, there's some good stuff there.
Thank
Good
you.
haul, good haul. All right. Well, thank you, Russ.
Welcome.
Let's see here. So, hey, Greg, were you successful or not in getting your photos saved off, or?
I think so. We'll
All
give it a
right,
try.
let's give you another try.
I'll have to do them one at a time, but I think I can get
That's
to
all
them.
right. We got time.
All right. Photo. Here we go. How about that? Did that show up?
Yeah, sure did.
That's a
AM,
little
FM.
Plascon Emerson. It's got AM and FM. It's from 1952.
Oh yeah,
It's
cool.
got 8 tubes in it and 6 IF cans.
Wow.
Okay.
But it plays good on both bands. Just needed a recapping.
Nice. Because it's funny. I think of all the radios you've shown in the past, all the years, Greg, I don't remember ever seeing one where you stored net one that was AM, FM.
Yeah, I didn't realize this one had FM, and when I got it, I was kind of committed. So,
There we go.
but it's got well, this is AM FM in the middle, and you're tuning and off on volume. Then it's got another little flipper behind the off on switch for tone. It's got
Oh,
bass.
okay.
I don't know if that shows up. Yeah, there's bass and
Oh,
treble.
yeah. That's little at the bottom. Is that what that is?
Mhm. Yep, right behind the knob. So there's a little flipper on the bottom. You can move that disc around.
Got it. Got
Yeah, it's
it.
got a neat little
Cool.
orange pilot light up here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was wondering if that was a pilot light. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so there's that one.
That's cool.
You grab another one quick.
Did it end up on Radio Attic already or will
Yeah,
be?
that one's listed. All these are listed already that
There you
I've
go.
done.
Boys and girls, here's your chance. Go to radioattic.com. Look for Greg Van Beek.
I did quite a few Emersons actually. This is a little plastic Emerson
Oh yeah.
with the spring-loaded handle on top.
Those are attractive with the gold face, grill.
Yeah, it's actually like a metal mesh
Hmm.
grill, and then the light bulb is actually behind that maroon-colored dial pointer, so it kind of shines from the back and illuminates the dial, which is kind of neat.
Is it a larger bulb or is it just a straight?
Oh, just a standard 47,
Yep. Hmm.
but
Wow, that's nice. I like it.
embossed Emerson logo over here.
Yeah. It's a
It's
nice
a nice
radio.
little radio.
Yeah, that is. Good looking.
Okay, next number. Here's another variation of that same thing. This is a little Emerson. It's got kind of a walnut back of the cabinet, and then the front is kind of a blonde finish. It's
Hmm.
actually a wood cabinet.
Really? Even the grill face? That's, oh yeah, I guess it is wood.
Yeah,
Wow.
the whole front panel is wood.
Wow.
I thought it was metal initially, but no, I guess not.
No, the only metal there is the little Emerson logo down there.
Oh, sure. That's neat. I don't think I've ever seen one of those before.
Yeah, I never did either. They made a lot of variations with that same chassis in it. In fact, I think they even had a Catlin cabinet that used that same chassis.
Oh, yeah, that's handsome looking. It's a neat, unusual looking radio. What year was that, Greg?
I believe it's a 46.
Okay. A little newer than I thought. I was thinking maybe would it have been just either right after World War II or just pre-war, like early 40s.
Yeah, it's one that uses the standard tube line up the
Oh.
12SK, SA, SQ, and the 50L6 and 35Z5 that a ton of radios had.
Hmm. Oh, very attractive.
I feel like every traveling vacuum salesman in the country was hoping to see that on a shelf somewhere so they could say, and you can clean the front of this.
Yeah,
There you go. Good point.
and there's yet another Emerson
Oh, look at
identical.
that.
Pretty much the same chassis.
Right.
That one I think has I don't know if it's necessarily an Ingram cabinet, but I forget who designed the cabinet. It's a kind of a unique shaped cabinet.
Yeah, it's very attractive. I like it.
But you can see it's basically got the same dial pointer as the other one.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Very similar. Is the backlit the same way?
Same way, yeah. Same way.
Oh, that's nice. Another nice job there, Greg.
Well,
I,
thank
I
you.
think that chassis was used in a number of the Catalan Emerson radios.
It was, yes.
Same dial I've seen.
Let's see. Let's move on to some Philcos. This is sort of a pretty common Philco. It was 1948. It had the whole cabinet was a photo finish. And naturally, the photo finish was badly chipped, so I had to do my best with toner to try and recreate it.
Wow.
Had to
That's a good looking radio.
hand paint the wood, the white trim.
Yeah, I can imagine you had to, yeah, it gets a little bit of manual labor there.
But plays good. It's a nice sounding radio. All Lochtel tubes, of course.
I can't say I've ever seen one of these before, funny enough.
Yeah, it's surprising. I've seen a couple of them over the years, but it's not one of the most common, but it's fairly common. Late 40s.
Hmm.
Philco always had kind of neat slide rule dials on them that they use that same design from the 1942 till the late 40s.
Hmm. It's nice. I like it. Oh, you did a really nice job there, Greg.
Thank you. Let's see what we got next. Here's another Philco. These are pretty common. This is a 1942 PT-95.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yep. I like it. That's
Again, they made a number of these things. Some of them had a different type of carrying handle on top. It was just like a standard pull handle. This has just a block of wood.
right. That's
But
hey,
luckily,
I like that. That you did a really, I like the white with the and the cream. Very nice.
yeah, I got lucky. This wasn't a 10-night grill, so it wasn't all warped like is typical of this grill work. There was a little crack on it, had to repair, so I painted it after I got repaired and made a new dial cover for it.
Yeah, cool looking dial face too.
Yeah, they're nice looking
Pardon me.
little radio. Performs good. They had the loop antenna. That's a nice thing. Around 1940 is when Philco first started putting loop antennas in. So it
Hmm.
made radios a lot more easy to manage without having to connect an antenna to it.
Is this post World War II or is this still early 40s?
This is just at the beginning of World War II. It's 1942.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's probably what I'll be sharing later is 1 year earlier.
Okay. I think I've got one or two more yet, then I'll.
Yeah, no, you got the floor, man.
What did you say the grill was made out of? Because all the examples of that radio I've seen have been warped.
Some of them it's called tenite. It was like an early form of plastic. I think Bob could probably explain that better to you than because he dealt with plastics all his life. Here's the oldest one. This is a Crosley. I think it's a 5M3 is the model. It's just a little 5 tube Crosley. But what's unique about it is the whole cabinet on here is a decal. It's photo finish.
Really?
It's all I got lucky that it wasn't all chipped up.
A decal. Wow.
Yeah, because it's just plain white wood under there, and the
Really?
full
Wow,
finish film or whatever they put on it was to replicate and make it look like it had some fancy wood veneer on it, but it doesn't.
Is that what they call the Crosley Fiver? I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, they called a lot of them the fiver because there were 5 tubes, and that chassis was used in many different variations. They had a cathedral, and they had.
It's got those good looking knobs also, with the ones with
Yeah.
the design on the front.
Yeah, even the escutcheon is really nice looking. That's a
Yeah,
good radio.
And Crosley at that time, I don't know if you can see it, but the dial is actually green, where most dials at the time were amber colored. And this had a green, so it lights up like a little cat's eye in there.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like it.
Is that the original grill cloth, or was it replaced with something that would look nice?
I believe it was replaced. I didn't change it because it looks too new, but I think that's the exact pattern they had. Because I've seen pictures of them, and they all pretty much had a pattern very similar to that.
Wow, terrific job. It's a neat radio. I like it.
Yeah. A small tombstone doesn't take up a lot of room.
Easy to ship too.
Easy to ship too, right? All right, last one. This one I took a little liberty on. Little Zenith, and originally it was painted white.
Okay.
The paint was all chipped off of it, so I had to repaint it anyway.
I like it. Classic 50s color. Oh, it looks like Noah's got the same thing.
Think about this one is the knobs were molded black like that. Now usually on Zeniths, they always were kind of like a caramel colored knob.
Yeah, they were usually like an off-white.
Yeah, like I've got the off-white ones on this.
Yeah.
They have the Z logo on them, but they were actually molded in black plastic.
Interesting.
It's funny that you should bring that up because, like, okay, I'm done. This is the only thing I was going to share.
No, it's all right. Well, we'll be able to see it because right now Greg's still sharing.
This is the before photo right here. See,
I'll stop it for you. Here you go.
No, it's all right. Oh, that's
right. Hold back up again, John. No.
Oh, well, here I'll spotlight, but but he'll be let me spotlight for everybody anyway. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah,
same radio.
Confirmed. Yeah. Got the classic cream and the dark brown. That's dark brown. Is that black?
Yep, dark brown.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, on the bottom, let me see what it says here. It says a model 5D610.
Yeah, that sounds about right. No,
that's right.
The label was missing on the bottom.
Okay. So yeah, it was just, it was funny. It's sitting right here next to me, and then boom, you see yours come up in that color.
Yeah, well, they were a common radio. They made a lot of those. That's a 1941 or two as well.
Well, it was literally the kitchen radio that sits on top of the refrigerator.
That's right. Yeah.
Wow. So all of those that you just showed, Greg, are on Radio Attic, or did you keep any for your own
No, they
collection?
were all listed. I think a number of them are sold already, but
Oh, look at that. Flying up
those
the
are
shelf.
those are since the last round robin that I've done.
Wow. Well, that was great. That was great,
So
Greg.
Greg,
Beautiful.
what kind of paint did you use when you repainted that radio?
It's kind of funny because I picked that up at Ace Hardware, and it's actually like an industrial grade of paint. But it's one of the best paints I ever used because it flowed very nice. There were no runs, and the picture on the can showed that they painted a fire hydrant with it. So it's made for outdoors, but it looks nice.
Yeah, so it was a spray paint, so you don't have to worry about
Yes,
lines and so forth.
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
I like it. The black with the green, the turquoise looks great.
That's what I
Yeah,
thought.
I was going to ask the question about the one that I picked up, in that I wasn't sure if the Zenith letters were supposed to be somehow highlighted with some other kind of paint, or if they were
Oh,
just the same color.
No,
no, they weren't.
Okay, because if you have to kind of look a little closely to actually see that it says Zenith up there, because it's just all that one color.
Right. And where I seen Bob Bennett's picture pop up, how do you describe tenite? It was kind of a plastic, but it really was more of a
Not
what do
only
you call
does it
it?
not only does it warp, but it stinks.
It stinks too, right? But there was something else in it that wasn't just plastic.
well, I think what it was they were trying to emulate Plascon because Plascon became really big for a while,
Right.
and it was just a really poor plastic. I mean, it just wasn't very good, and
It had some celluloid in it or something like that.
yeah,
Like,
they had to try something, or whoever had that company was trying to get around patent stuff. So that's all that was. They were just it was kind of like a chemical erector set, like, oh, let's try a little of this and a little of that, and maybe we can get by the patent office, and you could see it was pretty much crash and burn.
Because I know there were actually cars that used that stuff at that time too in their dashboards, and
Yeah.
a
Yep.
lot of car people are having the same problem with
Yeah.
warping.
30s. Yeah. 30s, early 40s stuff, I imagine.
I,
Yeah.
I learned something. I mean, I have a lot of useless knowledge about older cars, but I went to our local Monday night cruise night. It's like a little family restaurant kind of thing, and I drove my station wagon over there. And I've got a friend that goes there quite frequently. He's got like 5, 6 cars. But the car that I really like is he's got a 40 Mercury 4-door,
Hmm.
Oh,
all original car, 21,000 original miles.
Wow.
So before we left the parking lot Monday night, before it got like really dark and you couldn't see anything, I was with him and a couple other people. And we're looking over every inch of this car. And I did not know this, but I thought the paint on it was black, by the way, and it was stunning. Ford used enamel on the cars of that era. I thought they used lacquer, but they didn't. They used enamel. And other than some very, very light rock chips or just some, I mean, it's expected for a car at that age, but man, I just what I could do is this is my new computer. I don't have any pictures or anything in here. I'll maybe next time around I got some pictures of that car. I'll show it to you, but it just
Did it have like a nice mohair kind of smell
it
to it?
had the mohair
Oh, yeah.
interior, but they covered it. They
Okay.
put seat covers over all the mohair in the
Sure.
back. And in the back, you could literally, I mean, if you were a teenage boy that was like ready to go out and have some fun with the opposite sex, just see the size. I mean, this was like the full blown, it was a 4-door and
yeah.
just had an amazing amount of room in the back. It was just incredible. It was, just a time machine. Just really beautiful. Even the wire loom to run the wire out from the dashboard to everything, it was like perfect.
Yep.
So I said that his name is Brian. I said, I bet you never touched that wire loom. He goes, no, and I'm not going to either.
Yep.
Yeah.
He
He's got a
let
number of
sleeping
nice
dogs
cars.
lie.
He's got a 65 Riviera Grand Sport. He's got a
Ooh.
68 Firebird in Videro green and parchment interior convertible. And that's a 400 4-speed car. Just, I
Nice
mean, he's
choice.
got like 5, 6 cars. I can only afford one now. Can't do it like when I was a kid because you could buy cars for $100, $200. Those days are gone, unless you're buying Hyundais and Kias.
Right.
Can't do that now.
Definitely.
So
But
I'm sorry I had to abandon you just now. I was with one of the officers of the local ham radio club where there's an event coming up, and I'm trying to help him get some things organized for that. Can I show my stuff?
sure. Oh yeah, go ahead.
This
Yeah,
is
go ahead.
kind of a spur in a moment thing for me.
Yeah. And
Now,
just quick side note there.
I would say at least how 30 of you guys are ham guys. So you may appreciate this. So I noticed on YouTube, like I've been sick, by the way. I just had about 9, 10 days of COVID, and that was no fun. I won't go into that, but I'm all right now.
Good,
Um,
good.
when you think of now they've been doing a lot of videos. I can't remember the name of the guy, but he's been doing a lot of videos for some reason on the Halcrafters S120. And if you hams know what that is, like I saw Andy's got a couple S38s on his shelf, and I'm sure most of you have some other, Halcrafter stuff sitting around. But S120s were, that was just a benchmark in getting started in the ham hobby for a lot of folks. Four tuber with a selenium rectifier and a chassis. And this one guy's been doing videos on this thing, talking about, well, you got to make sure that you got the grounded end right here so that you could get shocked. If you have the right combination, you could touch the radio and get shocked on everything. But how many Hammerlin, or not Hammerlin, Halcrafters radios had FM on them? Can anybody name how many they had or what models they were?
I don't know how many, but I've got one of them behind me. Let me go look at the model.
Why? Okay. Yeah, now we gotta have some Jeopardy music. Oh, never mind.
SX43.
Okay, good. I was hoping you were gonna say that. I think there's three. The other one I can't remember, and I have one that's really rare. It's not necessarily valuable, but it's rare. So I stumbled upon this thing and I got it working. I have to hold this up so it fits the screen. This is the WR2000, and you can see on the bottom it has an FM band on it.
Interesting.
And this thing is built like a tank. This thing is heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I came about it from a friend. He dropped it off at the house, and it was one of these things. We're sitting in the park a lot and talking for 20 minutes about life, and then he opens up the trunk and he hands me this thing. He says, "Oh, I know you'd appreciate this." I'm like, "I don't think I ever saw one of these before."
Yeah.
But it was like in the car hobby, it was driven hard and put away wet. So the whole top of this cabinet was scratched up. I sanded it down and repainted it. It had one bad tube in there, which I didn't have. I actually had to buy a tube. I've got 2,000 plus tubes in my basement. I actually ordered a tube for this thing. I forget what it was. But after I got that in there and I put some filters in it, the thing woke up. I didn't have to align it or do nothing. I was just amazed on how well this thing's work. And it works. It sounds great on FM. Plus, on the back of this thing, it's got a phonograph input and a separate.
Wow.
It's got a mic input. I guess if you wanted to use this for a PA system,
or karaoke.
I don't know why you'd want to do that, but I guess you could. A headphone jack, and then it's got the individual list of screws for AM, FM, shortwave, and such. So I am donating. I just got off the phone with this guy, and I said, "Listen, I restored it, and I'm going to donate it to the local ham club because they've been very, very good to me, and they're a good group of people." And I have I have a total of 4 radios that I'm going to donate to the club so they could sell on their table. The ham event's coming up on the 20th, so I've got like another 9 or 10 days to get ready for the event. But it's just a rare piece. It's so cool.
That's cool.
If I didn't have so many radios, I would keep this thing. But it's just really neat.
Yeah, I don't know how many they made, but I stumbled across a Halcrafters. It was an AM shortwave television set. It was like either a 19 or a 21-inch television. And it was Halcrafters.
Halcrafters did make a couple TVs.
Yeah. But did it have a can opener?
No can opener. However, it did have a very weird, the power transformer had like an integrated socket for the 5U4 rectifier to plug into. So it like physically plugged into the top of the transformer. I'd never seen anything like that.
Well, there were some old radios that actually had that. I'm trying to remember who. I think it was RCA had some radios that were like that. Somebody had a bunch of radios that were like that. They had literally the rectifier tube go right on the top of the transformer.
Yeah,
So
I'd never seen that, and obviously I knew the name Hallicrafters, but I never
yeah.
associated it with a television set. So
Hey guys, if you don't mind, because I happen to carry this conversation, I want to actually get Anthony Laversa in, only because he has to leave at 9. So we can circle back, but I just thought I'd get him and give it a chance because
Go
Anthony's
ahead.
new to the Zoom meetings. So I want to make sure he gets a little chance to tell who he's up to, and the floor is yours, Anthony.
Well, it's funny. My first opportunity to see Zoom was a recorded version from a few weeks ago, and I just happened to kind of pick away at the video through a couple of the breaks at work that I had. But I guess I'll start just by giving you guys a little bit of background as to how I got to where I'm at and why I'm taking an interest in what you guys are doing. So, my late father-in-law had a Stuart Warner 207D console. Now, mind you, I haven't been able to find but a few photos online of other examples of it, but this one happened to bounce around a little bit after it left his family home. They listened to it as kids sitting on the carpet, and then it bounced around between some family members and ended up underneath of a trailer of all places. And my wife found out my cousin had it under there, and she said, "Do you mind if I take it?" He said, "No, it was your father's. You can have it." Well, needless to say, I'm a man of many skills, but I didn't actually have any skills with radios. But she came to me and she said, "Anthony, I desperately want this thing to live again. Do you think that you could put your multitude of skills together and try to find a way to make that work?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to have to learn a lot, and I don't really want to work on this radio first. So I'll have to find some other radios of that era and try to practice on something else." She said, "Okay, well, I suppose that makes sense. I don't want to ruin something so sentimental to me." So I went on a journey through Craigslist and Facebook, and I eventually found a gentleman in my local area who happens to be a ham, but he bought an estate that had an 18-wheeler's worth of radios in it.
Whoa. Whoa.
And he decided that he was going to take all the ham stuff out and start selling off the vintage radios to whoever wanted to buy them. And in a lot of cases, it was guys that were coming and buying them 10 or 15 at a time. They'd buy a lot out of the lot, and he was just happy to get rid of them. But then he started to realize that some stuff that was quite valuable probably left his hands for peanuts, and he slowed down on sales. But I showed up one day and I said, "Do you have any Stuart Warner stuff? I really am looking for parts for my wife's radio. Maybe I'll take something else home to practice on." And we dug through all of his stuff, and we never ended up finding anything that came anywhere close to giving me parts. But at the same time, I found myself a 1930s opera radio school intercom. It was just a little wooden box that was mounted on walls in the 30s in schools.
Something Tom gave me a tourniquet.
And I have a picture, but I don't know how readily I'll be able to share the pictures from my phone. We'll see. Maybe I'll try if we have time. But
Yeah, we'll give it as much time as you've got, Anthony.
I did my very best to restore that cabinet. But of course, it wasn't a radio. It just was a speaker, and it was fed by a larger unit somewhere else in the building. And that did me no good and served no purpose in my home. So I ended up converting it into a Bluetooth speaker. I put a modern speaker in it, and I put a little tiny mini amp in it. And I said, "Cool, well, this matches the decorum of my den, which is all Art Deco, and it'll integrate well." But it didn't really teach me anything about the innards of radios. Just a small cabinet to work on. So I went back and I saw this gentleman, Skeet. I said, "Skeet, I really need to buy something that's of substance to work on." he said, well, dig through the radios, see if there's anything that sticks out to you. And boy, did I dig again, and I found this one radio in the back corner underneath of something turned sideways, and it happened to be a Zenith. And I said, well, I really like this thing. It reminds me of an 835. I don't know if you guys can imagine an 835 in your mind, but it was a metal grilled Zenith. And right up the center was an Art Deco metal grill. And there's, three of them that had that style of grill. The 835 was the largest. This one was an S829, but I didn't know that. I just knew that I liked the look. And I negotiated with him for a little bit, and I bought the radio for $35. And I took it home. And speaking of Radio Attic, I don't know if any of you guys have come across the work of Gary Marvin. Gary does a lot of work that ends up on there.
Okay.
And he did 2 or 3 S829s, and they fetched around $3,900 a piece.
Ooh.
So I ended up bringing this thing home, and unbeknownst to me, I had brought home a radio I certainly wouldn't want to practice on all over again.
Oh, right.
I looked it up and I said, gosh, I can't bring myself to work on this right now. I don't know nearly enough to do that. Best I could do would be to start on the cabinet, and even that doesn't seem like a good plan. So I went back to Facebook again, and I ended up finding a Zenith console that I purchased, and that is in process right now. That's a 7S 461. It's a good-looking console. It has the short band, as does that little Zenith S829. So I got lucky there. And it was in real disrepair. So it ended up being a really in-depth project. I actually had to take the cabinet completely apart, and I'm stripping it now.
Wow.
So I am working my magic on the cabinet with that one and haven't jumped into any of the hardware, but I've been doing a lot of reading throughout all kinds of places, including your guys' resources. And in the midst of all of that, even though I was really kind of falling in love with the 30s and 40s wooden radios, I was browsing Facebook and I got myself in trouble. I saw a Grundig Majestic 7000 series.
Welcome to the dark side.
Yeah, and the 7005 Majestic was just beautiful. It's like a 3-foot by 3-foot cabinet with the larger speaker in it, and it's got a turntable hidden in the top. And this guy wanted absolute peanuts for it. He just said, I want to get rid of it, and it was way too far away. And my lovely wife, she said, you're going to be working overtime all week long. I'll tell you what, I'll just drive up there and get it for you. So she made this epically big round trip. I think it was something like 4.5, 5 hours to get there and back.
Wow.
And picked it up for me.
Now there's a wife.
Yes, indeed.
She's a keeper.
I
Yeah.
agree with you entirely. It's a struggle. Every day is a struggle to find a new way to make sure that I make that woman as happy as possible, because she certainly makes me happy. And life went on, and I started bringing home more and more radios. And she started saying, what are you doing? Because I still haven't finished with her father's radio yet. And I said, listen, here's the deal. In like 2 months, I want to go down to New Hampshire and visit my father. And the very next day, I want to go to this event in Brookline.
That's what we want to hear.
She said, all right, well, I'm good with visiting your dad, but how early are we going to have to get up to make it over to Brookline from there? I said, we're probably going to get up around 6 to be there for 7:30. We didn't make it for 7:30, but that's okay. We did make it. I did get to have a really fantastic discussion with a couple of different gentlemen there. And the club was really welcoming, and my son was running around having a good time. He's 16. He went home with a ham radio that somebody decided to give him. And I left the event, I believe it was Ross or Russ.
Ross.
Ross ended up gifting me a Grundig.
Yep, that's Ross.
3041.
Yep.
After hearing about my Majestic, he said, well, here's a smaller one. Take this home and have some fun with it.
Yeah, it's a good
And
guy.
my wife walked around the event, and I thought for sure she wouldn't find anything she wanted to take home. She had already told me that there was quite a few things that I was storing, and that perhaps she wouldn't add to the pile, but inevitably she walked by a Philco Model 20 Cathedral, and she said, "Gosh, that really reminds me of a radio in one of my favorite TV shows. I wonder if you could get that thing going and put it in my sewing room." So we ended up with that.
That's funny.
And then on the way home, I was driving along, or actually, she was driving, and I'm looking at Facebook again, and I find this Philips Interphone AF 7800. And that is one that if I could show a picture of, I will. I'll see what I can do here, guys. But the Interphone's interesting because it's not just a radio, it's an intercom system.
Interesting.
And so I don't know exactly how that works. Can you see this?
Yeah, yes, we can.
But apparently, this somehow functioned to transmit waves to other boxes that would pick it up locally within the home.
Interesting.
And they also used it in businesses where they could transmit messages throughout, which was kind of interesting. Let's see, now that I know that that works, here's that cathedral I picked up there at Brookline.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's nice. That's really
Yeah.
good.
And it supposedly hums, so there's not a ton to do, I think, with that one. And actually, I was trying to find caps for it, but the gentleman with caps already left
Oh, Joe
by the time
Coco.
by the time that I went looking for him.
Well, he does have a website, Anthony, so you can always reach out to him. The W.
So now that I can show some photos here, um, here we go. Maybe I can add more than one in swipe. We'll test that idea.
Yeah, why not?
So this is that Stuart Warner 207D.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's a good looking radio.
And
it's pretty.
I mine's not in that great a shape. In fact, this whole dial face is faded to the point where you can't really see it. This is mine.
Okay.
So there's quite a bit to do there, but at the same time, you can see why I wanted a radio to practice on.
That's fair.
You know, it was a lot to take in. So we'll see. And perhaps it's worthwhile for me to see if I can get a picture of some of the other stuff I picked up here.
Oh yeah.
So there's that little opera radio.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's neat.
And that was actually made in Chicago, which is not far from where I was born. I was born in Illinois. Here's that S829 Zenith.
Wow, that's a pretty looking radio. I love that. I love the grill.
I'm hoping that I can keep that cloth because that is original, and I know that it was remade. But I believe the gentleman that remade the cloth is now retiring. This is a Stromberg Carlson that I picked up at an antique shop here in Maine, and it happened to be a store that was closing, so it was 50% off sale. And it was just in great shape. I just couldn't pass up a Stromberg. I know that they make great sets.
Yeah, it's a good looking radio. Wow.
There's that majestic 7000 series.
I recognize that well. At least it's not a huge console. It's you know.
It's kind of middle sized, you know, it fits. You don't have to take up a ton of space.
Right.
This is a Philco, I think it's a 3600 series or 630. I'd have to go back and look. This is actually one of the only ones I can't name for you. Just so happens that this was one of those radios that I came across at an antique store, and my wife was shopping for other things, and you know, I said I won't take it home, and she said you can take it home if you want to, because I'm taking something home.
That's a good deal. Wow.
Um,
I don't remember the model of that, but that's got a above the regular dial, they have a thing on there that's called a shadow meter. So
yes,
as
it
you
actually functions. Yeah,
oh,
no.
okay, good.
So the small lever that's below the center dial or the center knob there, when you switch it, it switches that shadow meter. So it's like an illuminated line that kind of switches in between bands on the actual dial there. It'll appear on the lowest band on the lowest portion of the dial, and then as you switch the lever it comes up and appears in the center and then at the top, and then the shadow meter is that small window at the very top of the dial itself, and it's got a darkened portion in the center and then it illuminates on either side. And from what I could tell, it was kind of like a magic eye.
It's a nice shape.
So I think in terms of photos that I have, that's probably all the photos I've got. But
Oh,
in total, I've probably ended up here with about 8 or 9 radios. And I just started kind of jumping into the hobby in February. And
wow.
so I can see how this snowballs.
Well, at this rate, you should be talking in the hundreds before the end of the year.
Yeah, I certainly hope not, because then I really will might really will excuse me, I may really lose that fantastic wife I have.
Well, or be sure to get a
I
hard
only have
hat.
so much space, you know.
Yeah.
I do have quite a bit of space, but I've got quite a bit of other things too. So, um, so that's my story. I'm just jumping into the hobby, but I've really enjoyed myself thus far, and I've found some great things along the way, and I've started to learn more and more. And I know that you guys are a fantastic resource, so I've been digging into the Ravens and looking at stuff on the forums, and I look forward to learning more from you all. And in terms of age, I'm a little bit younger than most of the guys that I got a chance to talk to at Brookline. I'm 41 this year, so I joke with my wife all the time that I have plenty of time to learn, but the reality is I'd like to learn quick.
Well, let's make, yeah, that's, well, you're a young whippersnapper there, Anthony.
So yeah, it's been a heck of a lot of fun. I'm glad that I got to join the call this evening. I won't take up any more time.
No,
I
yeah,
know
no,
there are other gentlemen that would like to talk, and to be frank, I only had until about 9 o'clock this evening anyway, but I really appreciate all you giving me a little bit of the
yeah.
time.
No. That's the whole thing about the round robin. It also gets you, part of the round robin goal is also get to know what we're all about, like, our personal interests, our, and what we do and so forth. That way you sort of feel like you're knowing the attendees and not just doing show and tells. So yeah, no, and I hope you're not a stranger in our future Zoom meetings.
I certainly will try not to be. You know, I would like to be able to jump in when I can. Um, I work a ton. Right now, I'm doing about 60 to 72 hours a week, but
Ooh, okay.
um, that doesn't take me away from having the desire to be able to jump in when I can. So this evening, I saw the email notifications as a result of what you were posting on the website or on the group's IO, and I just said, I may be able to find time to do that if I'm quick. So I ate and I listened for a little while, and then I said, I'll see if I can jump in and take up a little bit of time, but I don't know how much. And it turned out to work out well, so I'm happy.
No, you've got a great eclectic mix of things to work on, and you'll learn a lot between how the Germans did things and how the 30s radios worked versus the 40s, 50s radios. And
Yeah,
I think you'll enjoy it.
I certainly hope so. And that was kind of the thing was I didn't have a specific category of radios that I really was looking for, with the exception of the fact that I tend to gravitate toward wooden cabinets. I don't really go with transistors, and I don't really go with any of the plastic radios. They just don't draw me the same way. And I think it's probably because I've done a lot of carpentry work and finished carpentry work, and I appreciate woodwork.
Hmm.
So that and I really like the Art Deco style. So there was a bit of a revival of some of that in the 50s with radios where they kind of mimicked it without mimicking it, and I can appreciate that.
Hmm. Well, Anthony, it was great to have you on. It was certainly nice to meet you in person at Spring Brookline. We got a chance to chat for a bit, and hopefully we see you at Fall Brookline for sure, but also on one of our upcoming Zoom meetings. But I can appreciate, it's hard not to appreciate the beauty of the wood cabinets. I do appreciate that too, but um, but I have a few plastics around as well, but certainly. Great.
Well, thanks again. I'll forfeit the rest of the time to whoever else can share, and I
All
wish I
right.
could stay on with you guys, but I'm gonna jump off, and I'll see you again soon.
All right.
Before you go, I just want to throw something in here real quick, Anthony. It's wonderful to listen to you, and I love your taste and what you've picked up so far. Couple things, two things. First of all, since you're kind of new to this thing, YouTube is a wonderful resource. There's a lot of talented people on there. There's one idiot named Radio Wild. You might want to stay away from watching his stuff, but there's a lot of talented people out there that could teach you, and you can learn a few things. And don't be afraid to fail. If you try something and it doesn't work, don't be afraid. And that's kind of how you learn. So it's we've all gone through that. So enjoy it. And it's a lot of fun. We all enjoy it, or else we wouldn't be here talking about it.
Well, thanks, Robert. I really appreciate the advice. I certainly don't have any fear of jumping on YouTube and seeing if I can learn something there too. I feel like some of it's in my blood. My grandfather was a big ham guy, real big. I have pictures upon pictures of me sitting in his lap in a room full of ham radio equipment. Um, so
I'd like to see those when you join us again.
yeah, I'll try to dig
Yeah.
up some stuff from that time period. I'm sure I have albums with that stuff. I inherited a lot of the family albums. I'll just have to dig through the garage, but my grandfather by trade was a jeweler, and he worked on watches, and in the military he was in the Army Air Corps, and when he got out, that was his big hobby. He was a ham guy, and he had a whole room devoted to it there in Illinois. So that was that was kind of my first introduction. I just didn't know that it would carry over into my later life.
That's great. Well, thank you, Anthony. That was do enjoy your evening or stay on as long as you can because I'll probably hand off to Tom, in fact, because Tom is next. I know he has a few things he wants to show, and but yeah, thoroughly enjoyed what you had to say.
Okay,
Thanks,
I think
John.
I have something real interesting for you, and that is this is a um, line interference filter. And you plug it into the line and you plug your radio into it, and it takes away interference. And it's made by Archer,
Yeah, I've heard of them.
and it is color and black and white TV, FM, AM radio, 250 watts, 117 volts AC, catalog number 15-1106. And guess what we're going to do with this tonight?
We're
We're
gonna
going to
rehome it. Rehome
we're
it.
gonna take it apart. But
Okay.
first, it's up to you to figure out what's in there. I have not peeked. Okay?
Okay.
I'll read you the specs again. It's 110 volts, 250 watts. So, those components in there have to be able to handle
Mm,
some reasonable amount of power.
yeah.
And I'm going to start out with a guess, and I want everybody here to take a guess. And then I'm going to pop it open and we're going to see what's in
Oh,
there.
about to do a drum roll.
Okay. So my guess is that a line interference filter has to have a capacitor
Mhm.
to take the spiky things and ground them. But you can't just take spiky things and ground them just like that, or can you? So I'm going to increase my guess and say, okay, different capacitors will pass or ground different spiky frequencies. So my guess is that we're going to see more than one capacitor in there. And I would guess that one of them is going to be around, oh, let's call it a 0.01. Okay. Robert Bennett, what do you think is in there?
I kind of agree with everything you've said up to this point, but I think there's probably also an inductor in there that's somehow trying to clean that up now. It's either going through maybe a non-polarized electrolytic or something like that. I don't know. But that would be my guess.
Well, that's part of the fun of this. I don't know either. How about you, Rob? You're sitting there. What do you think's in there?
Well, I think it's a marketing miracle is what's in there. I got that phrase from years and years ago. This friend of mine bought this thing for his TV. It says, turns your whole house into an antenna. And I said, it's just massive. It had this plastic big coil looking thing on the top. And we cracked it open and it was a capacitor. But when you read the ad for it, it said, it's a marketing miracle. In other words, we got you to buy it.
Yeah, we're going to be in trouble if they potted this thing, but it doesn't feel like it's potted. I don't know. John Gibbon, what do you think is in there?
I don't think I've had much to add beyond the suggestions thus far, or it's just empty. It's the machine that goes bing.
That's right.
I have to agree what's been said so far. I can't think of anything else I would add.
Okay, how about Noah? What do you think is in there, Noah? Calling Noah.
I think he walked away.
Okay. Anybody else on here? I know I don't see everybody because I'm not on the full thing here.
What has he got? Greg or Andy or
Greg, anybody else? Take a guess at this thing.
I suspect there's very little in there, and they charged 100 times more for it to make lots of money.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Probably a 0.05 capacitor in there.
0.05. Okay, I'm aiming for a 0.01. What do you think, Andy?
I'll just be different and say 0.02.
There you go.
Anybody else?
I think we need to say at this point in juncture, if this is going to be on YouTube, hey kids, do not do this at home. Okay?
Yeah, right.
This is just an experiment. Do not do this on your without adult supervision.
Yeah.
That's right.
Tom, I think you really should have your Santa Claus hat on.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. This is like screaming Wyoming. That's why.
Yeah.
Doesn't somebody tonight have that shirt on that says, "Be careful, kids, electricity will kill you"?
That'd be good.
I have that shirt, and that's why I recognized it.
There you go.
Oh, that's great.
So you have been warned.
Yeah, exactly.
So Noah, you just came back. We're trying to guess what's inside here. What do you think is in here? It's a line filter, 250 watts, and it'll make your black and white and color TV and FM and AM radio not have, I guess, interference.
Line interference. I've got the older version of that. It's in a metal box.
Yeah.
And it has a power cord on it, but then it also has a socket on it that you're supposed to plug your TV or radio into.
Yeah, that's right there.
Yep. Mine's on the far end, so it goes in, but it's like an aluminum or a metal box that I've never plugged anything into it, and I've never opened it up to see what's inside.
Well, that's what we're going to do tonight, Noah. We're going to take guesses, and we're going to open it up.
Yours might be solid state. I don't know.
I'm sure it is, but what kind of solid state? I don't think it's liquid, but who knows?
There's probably a big coil and a capacitor. And it's
okay. How big a capacitor? We're taking guesses on the size of the cap. I'm thinking 0.01.
Hey, well, that's typical, right? That would be my guess, but I'm going to say 0.015, just like the price is right. Maybe I can be closer without going over or something.
Perfect. Yeah, why not? Anybody else? John, is there anyone else there? I can't see.
Let's see. I think we call everybody else. We've had a few people. Isaiah, did Isaiah actually write something in the chat? What did he say? Nothing. Just up. That was Joe. Let's see.
Now I wish I
Yeah,
had.
he thinks it's a pie filter, likely one set on each leg, CLC.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, am I ready to pop it?
Drum
Yeah.
roll, please.
Okay, let's see. I'll get in here with my little screwdriver, and you can see it's got a nice little place where I can put a screwdriver in there and pop it open. And happily, it's plastic, so I'm probably going to be able to do that.
Oh yeah, you think so? That old plastic though cracks easily.
Yeah.
Now I
there we go.
Oh,
Two coils.
Oh, there we go.
oh, you're getting your money's
The
worth
two
on this
coils and two
thing.
disc caps.
Wow. So what's the
Yeah.
Let's see if we can see a
it's
value.
balanced. It's balanced as opposed to unbalanced.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I may have to read that for you.
Yeah,
You know what it says? It says Z5Z, 503Z. Anybody interpret that?
Is that 0.05?
It's probably
think
0.05. It's
503, yeah,
it's a
five,
Sprague.
Yeah.
five, and then move the decimal point 3 places.
Yeah.
0.005 maybe.
0.005.
Okay.
Look at that.
Okay.
Looks-
0.005, which is half of the 0.01 we're guessing before.
So let's see. The other one is a Sprague Z5Z503Z.
Oh, I'm
Same
sure.
thing.
Yeah,
Same thing.
well, the coils are probably the same too. There's just one in each leg of the power cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the coils are series and the capacitors are
Yep.
in parallel across it, right?
Yep.
Okay. Now we know.
There we
The
go.
secret.
And it doesn't, you can reverse the power cord in the way you plug it into the
Oh,
outlet.
Right,
Still
right.
get the
Yeah,
same-
definitely not polarized.
Right. So you're covered either way with, 2 caps and 2 inductors.
Yeah.
So you're going to take that and make a crystal radio out of it?
Oh, Santa's gonna recap it and
Re-ohm it.
make it re-ohm it. That's it.
And
Get
nothing
rid
that
of those capacitors and go re-ohm it
and nothing that whipped cream can't rectify too.
and give it to some unsuspecting little kid for Christmas. That's all I got tonight.
Oh, that was fun.
That's a
That
good
was
one.
fun.
That was fun.
Good.
Thank you, Tom or Santa, whoever you claim to
Hey,
be.
your 0.01 guess was actually good if it has a pair of 0.005s in parallel.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that was great.
Yeah, but now someone else got to do this on something else. I think that's really fun because I love taking stuff apart. I don't think I've ever had anything that I haven't broken apart or wrecked in one way or another. And finding out what's in there is half the fun of all of this, I think.
Yep.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely.
I remember when you opened up that LED
Ooh.
light bulb.
Tom, do you have that T-shirt that says "I void warranties"?
I should.
He's the
I
one that
should.
pulls the thing off the mattress,
Yeah.
You're not supposed to take off. I have seen photos of him in the post office. Now I know.
So, Mr. Tom, maybe I will ship this to you so that you could be the one to open this up.
No, come on, you do it. Oh, yeah. Well, I've definitely opened up a lot of those babies.
Well, this is a Ryobi 18 volt, 4 amp hour,
And it's lithium-y.
and it's lithium-y, and it has a little button that you push where it could show you what its battery status is,
Yeah.
which now does nothing.
Mm.
It was unfortunately left out in the rain.
Oh, that's not going to hurt it.
And when I picked it up 2 days later and went to plug it into my weed whacker, a whole bunch of water ran out of it.
That tends to be a problem.
That's
So I
no, that's good. That
so
just
I
keeps
just
it
kind of shook
cool.
it around a
Oh,
bit.
that's a good point, Santa.
Yeah.
I shook it around a little bit and I left it in the sun for about a half an hour, and then I plugged it into the weed whacker,
Yeah.
and it worked, and it ran until the battery ran down. And then I plugged it into the charger, and no bueno, as they say down here in Texas. It's dead and it will not recharge, and the little green light and the little red light on the charger both blink simultaneously. And if you look up the little key to that, it says battery is defective if lights blink. And it's like, well, it can't be defective. It was just waterlogged. That's all. But
You
but
They
know?
don't like you
with
to they
with a
don't like you to
button and
go
a battery
inside that.
cable, there must be a lot of stuff going on in there, and I don't know.
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to crack the case. Maybe a
Well,
sledgehammer.
Yeah.
it's got four
You-
screws right there.
The
So
Gallagher
well,
racing, you remember that
Come
comedian?
on, take them off right now. We
well,
want to see
they're not
what's in
really.
there.
They're one of those funky headed things. I know I've got the right thing to
You
plug
got
in,
a
but I
funky
don't have
headed
the right.
screwdriver somewhere. Yeah.
There we go.
I don't know.
Now in the days in
Four
the
amp
old
hours
days,
at 18 volts. I mean, I don't want it to like burst into flames if I'm in the house and
uh,
do something wrong. I'm gonna have to do this one outside on the.
yeah, that's a good idea.
There might be a small circuit board in there that got shorted out or something when
Yeah.
it got wet.
Yep.
Now, in the good old days when those things were NICADs, you could bring them right back by zapping them with a real high current. You
Mm.
put a one farad condenser and charge it up and zap the NICAD. NICADs develop little tiny micro shorts inside them, and you burn them all out, and the
Well,
battery's fine after that.
I'm kind of more on the page with Bob. I think the batteries, the lithium batteries in here are probably just fine. It's the control circuitry
Yeah.
that charges it up, because there's a fast charge mode and there's a thermocouple. I mean, like, it actually, I didn't know until I started reading, like, what are all these different lights supposed to mean? I don't know. I never read about it, but apparently if the thing flashes just red, that means either the battery is too cold or too warm for it to enter fast charge mode. So it actually sits there and waits for it to cool off a little, or somehow warms it up a little until it gets into the appropriate range to then kick on the fast charge mode. And then the red flashing light stops and the green flashing light starts up and then it charges for you. But I had never seen both the red and the green flashing at the same time. So when I looked that up, it said either the charger is defective or the battery is defective. So I know the charger works on batteries that weren't left in the rain. So it should be interesting to see. I mean, it was rain. It wasn't salt water. Like, how much damage could have really been done in there, or like,
Probably not that bad.
so it's just that, sometimes I was going to say, sometimes you open up little things like this and there's a little circuit board and it's like absolutely totally potted over and you can't possibly get to any of the components. But if that was the case, the water shouldn't have gotten to any of the components.
Yeah, right.
So I've never looked inside of one, but maybe next time.
Yeah, unscrew it and let us
Yeah.
kibitz.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right.
Do a deconstruction live video.
If I live to tell about it.
Yeah, that's right.
I did put the voltmeter across, and it basically read 3 volts. Supposed to read 18.
18 volt, yeah.
So it's not like there's nothing there, but there's not enough there to run
Right.
my weed whacker anymore. And apparently whatever is supposed to control the charging circuitry is what's going on the fritz, and may or may not be able to be repaired or bypassed. Why couldn't we just bypass it so that it just
Bypass.
You can.
Take out
you
all the
can.
safety. Take out all that safety.
take out all the safety? That's right. Who wants a riding lawnmower that, like, you have to turn off the blade before you can go in reverse?
Oh, come on. What's going on there?
You can
bypass
just
that right
defeat
away.
that.
Yeah, and then
cut
or
that wire.
the other stupid one where you get off the seat and it wants to
Whips.
shut off. No, we bypass that.
Yeah, it's got a pressure sensor. Oh yeah, no, they got
Yeah.
it all.
So, this is just another one or two safety features just waiting there to be bypassed as far as
Yeah,
I.
except that those batteries have a tendency to burst into flames.
Well, that's why
Oh,
it's going to
what's
be
a few flames? Come on. John's been roasted in the past of all the other radio projects.
that's why it's going to be an outdoor experience, out on the patio, with the charger plugged into an extension cord so that I'm far enough away from the house and
I have an electric bike, and I took it to a bike guy, and he said, "Oh, you have one of those." He said, "Get on YouTube and type in the name of your bicycle, and you'll see what I'm talking about." And he said, "Don't even bring that thing into my shop. I'll look at it outside the shop." But that battery is really, really, really dangerous. He said, "I suggest you get a metal box and put the battery in it. And if you got to use the bike, take it out of the box and use it and then put it back in the metal box."
Wow, so it's like riding on a thing of nitroglycerin, huh?
Yeah,
which is one of the reasons why this was outside and not in.
good
All
for
right, there you
you.
go. Yeah.
Sensible, yeah.
Hey Noah, I like your lawnmower riding mower reference. When I was a kid, we had a International Harvester Cub Cadet riding mower, and
Hmm.
it had a factory cigarette lighter in it.
Nice.
And just to piss off my father, I put in a beer cozy.
Hey, there you
So
go.
when my father would, get on the thing, and sometimes I forget my beer and I leave it on there, and he'd get all mad.
That's funny. That's
So I got
funny.
a quick question. I've got a 46 Massey Ferguson tractor, and I'd like to put some what do they call synthetic oil in it, but I don't know if it's safe to do that, and so I did it anyway. And it starts up fine, and it doesn't blow smoke anywhere, but the oil
It
pressure is a
probably
lot.
was just fine, but the only thing you gotta watch for is that the synthetic oils have all the seals and everything that within the motor. Sometimes they'll blow by. I started
Yeah,
using synthetic oil in my wagon, and I run a little bit thicker oil now because the stuff that
yeah,
I was putting in there was getting past the rear
yeah,
main seal in the engine.
That's
yeah,
what I think is happening. I'm
yeah,
getting low oil pressure because it's so thin.
Yeah.
Maybe if I do a synthetic 50 instead of this is a 5W 20 or 30 or
Yeah.
something
No, I
like
yeah.
that.
usually
I would go with a 1040 first and see how that works.
Okay.
there's
Don't go
a
too thick.
there's a boy now it's a Valvoline, I think it is. They make something called a VR1, and it's a 2050 synthetic with extra high zinc content
Oh,
in it
Oh, that's
for
probably really good stuff.
yeah, especially for flat tappet type engines, that don't have roller rockers or anything like that.
yeah.
Any metal to metal surface puts a little more zinc on there for lubrication. And I went with the 2050 just because I didn't want it to go past any seals and
Yeah, you never see any oils that talk about having lots of zinc in it. I bought a brand new engine, a short block from Blueprint Engines, and I put it in my El Camino. And they said, you got to use braking oil. And I called the guy up and I said, well, what do you recommend? He says, well, there's this company called Joe Gibbs, like the racing, the NASCAR racing and braking oil. I said, oh, okay. Now this is like 13, 14 years ago.
yeah,
It was like $10 or $11 for a quart,
right.
Yeah.
but it was because it
Yeah,
has the zinc in there. So
Yeah.
it allows proper braking of the motor.
the VR1, I don't know whether it's the R is for racing or what, I don't know, but it's VR1 is the model of the Valvoline oil. And it comes in not too many different viscosities, but 2050 is one of them. And since I've got a 1970 and a 1961, it's like, and I'm in Texas with hot,
Yeah.
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 2050 is going in there.
Yeah, you can afford to do that.
And
Yeah.
it seems to be very happy that way. And with the extra zinc, and it's not much, a 5-quart jug, there might be like a $5 or $6 premium on across a 5-quart jug. So it's not that big a deal. And the kind of miles that I'm putting on it, which is probably similar to your tractor or to your, station wagon or El Camino or whatever it is, It's like it gets a once a year oil change whether it needs it or not, because I'm putting what 2,500 miles maybe on the car in a year.
Mhm.
Thank you all.
Same here.
That's my
I
recommendation.
think I'll do that. I don't like seeing that oil pressure that low.
Yeah. Well, see here, before I wrap up, well, let me show a couple of things I happened to, one I took home from the show and one I recently received. Let me here quickly share this. This must be it. Let me know if you guys can. Can you guys see this okay?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
a sweetie. Look how nice that is.
Yeah, that's a KLH 21. It's from around 1965.
Mm-hmm.
And what a terrific sounding radio that is. I bought it from John Wetherill. And so I said, I really wouldn't mind having one because I have the KLH Model 8, that's vacuum tube version, and the KLH Model 11, which is the stereo multiplexer, which you connect the 8 into. So I bought that back in March, and I said, and I knew that John was. Why didn't I get the? That's weird. Expected to be able to. Whoops, there we go. You can see it's a nice shape. And they just sound great. They really do. It's amazing the sound that sealed up. Of course it's mono. Um, but what I did do is there was another vendor. So I bought that from John. There was another vendor who was selling. He had a KLH 24, which regrettably I would have bought if I just missed out on it. He was actually very fair. That's a stereo with a phonograph. Um,
Mm.
so I said, well, okay. But he had some factory bookshelf speaker for it. So I connected. So I bought. He said, "Yeah, this is exactly what was designed for it." And I said, "Score." So I bought a bookshelf speaker. I mean, you can see that the grill cloth is a little bit. I mean, the KLH grills, they get dirty so easily. You look at it and gets dirty. Um, and he had spare. It was missing the KLH badge, but he said, "Oh, I have plenty of spare parts." So he gave me a KLH badge for it, so that because you could see the backing was a little light. You could see where the old badge was, so it's easy to find where to mount it without getting it wrong. And then you have this set together, and voila! You have
That's
this.
great.
It sounds great. Yes, it's mono, but boy, is it compelling mono.
It's
Um,
dual mono.
Dual mono, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so, well, so sometimes my morning drive, if I'm listening to whatever the news in the morning, whatever, or even just wherever I feel like tuning in. And of course, it's a terrific KLH tuner, it's just always, delightful to play with. So it's just a nice little piece I have in my office here. So um, I've been sort of I'm in my little bit of my KLH kick these days. Once I bought that Model 8 and 11, which I was kind of had a hankering for, it was like, well, okay, maybe I need to buy this, and maybe one day I'll buy a Model 18. But if you buy the Model 24, you get a phonograph. So I'd rather have a phonograph. So,
Can you characterize the difference between the solid state and the tube? Can you hear it?
It's subtle. I always find the tubes have just a little more depth, but I'll tell you, it's a little bit tough to hear the difference. I hear a little bit more in there, but that the 21 is a terrific job. I mean, if you just wanted, this is a luxury to have the bookshelf accessory speaker for it because it just plugs right into it. They have a jack right in. It's just a single RCA jack, no surprise, because it's not stereo. It needed dual plug anyway.
That's a great find, John, because I haven't seen one of them speakers in like 20, 25 years. That's
And
no
the,
lie. That's how rare they are.
And I was surprised how inexpensive I got it for. So I was like really happy. I was like, wow, I can't believe because I was talking to the guy. He's a really nice guy, and he was telling me he had all these different KLH. He had a brand new Tivoli. I mean, the Tivoli looked like it was. I think it was literally he used it once. Was a little bit disappointed in not having enough oomph in the sound. It sounded nice, but just not enough speaker. So the thing was like essentially factory new, and he had and he had 3 or 4 speakers. He says, I'll find you the best one I've got. And so I walked out with the speaker and the radio, and the speaker, I think I spent like $20 for the speaker, and I thought that was more than fair. Sure, the cover's slightly warped because it's been pulled out before, but it's slightly dirty in spots. But I'm like, you know what? It looks fine. And if I want to get crazy, I can go and try to clean it or try to get a replacement one, but it's absolutely fine. And I love the sound. It's just this great sounding. If I listen to the news in the morning, whatever, I just turn it on. It's like, boy, it has this nice booming sound in my office. So yeah, as I came home with that, it's a fun little unit. And let me just stop sharing. I got to find the other photo. I'll find it in just a moment here. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, now I can share again. Hmm.
Well, here, while you're doing that, I can monetize the video for you. Hey, this video is sponsored by Jaime's alcohol-free vodka. So here's your chance to get that great vodka taste with that terrible hungover feeling the next day. So whenever you want that, go get a Jaime's. All right, next.
That's funny. Whoops. I got what happened was oh, there we go. Okay. All right, here we go. Sorry. I fumbled the ball there. But now I can share. But thank you for that. Thank you for the word from our sponsor.
I'm
Okay.
trying to make you guys some money here. Oh, that is cool. You don't
Here's
see these around too often.
Yeah, is this a Philco 41-221?
The AM only one are pretty common, but to find them with the shortwave, and that's in really nice condition, and the plastic's not warped on it. That's a sweetheart right there, John.
Yeah, I'll tell you what happened. Yeah, we just recently moved, and of course we've met our neighbors. We have some terrific neighbors, and I know we got into the topic. I said, I'm into vintage electronics, and then and my neighbor, she came to me like a couple of weeks ago, and she goes, I have a kind of friend who's got an old Philco. Because she said maybe it's plastic. I don't remember, but she said, she's trying to get rid of it. She may want to get rid of it, and I'll see if she's interested and I can drop it off with you. And they said, so I just got this recently. I said, wow, that's great. So I was thinking when you said plastic, I was thinking it was like a 50s Philco or whatever, the typical plastic cabinet. But when she brought this in, I said, oh,
I think that's a pre-war, John.
Yeah, it's 41. Yeah, exactly. This is a Philco 41-221, if memory serves. And and I think, let's see, I got another. So this has, you can see some of the, obviously the cream on the lower area has worn and faded off. But I mean, that's certainly fixable. And of course, Father Greg can work his magic on something like this. Let me see here. But it's in pretty good shape. You could, that it's in good enough shape that you could say if you did a little bit of Howard's on, you may not have to do anything too aggressive, but you do need to fix, obviously it's the cream area that's probably the worst in terms of being the faded and worn. So it looks like the top of the handle was of the cabinet, the brown cabinet color, and then the sides were cream. Is what they did with this one, which I find interesting. So I've seen pictures with the cream all around, unless this just wore off. Maybe this is always cream, and they just put paint over the finished wood. I hadn't decided which way they did this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I almost see signs of the old paint on top. So I think this just wore off.
To me, it looks like paint loss, John.
Yeah. So,
but you could take that cabinet and probably hit that with some Howards, wipe some Howards over that thing, and just light scratches would go away.
Yeah.
And then just repaint that handle and the little sides there, and this thing would be just about perfect.
Yeah, and
it's very little.
I haven't opened up the back because I just recently got this. I haven't even opened up to see how scary it looks inside. I think she said she plugged it in to see if it works. We know that's people who just grab something, they'll put it in and plug it in, and not necessarily recommended. But at least all the decals are mostly there, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to
The
open.
original back is actually in very good shape.
Yeah, I was surprised. I guess what was sitting is obviously it's been opened up in the past because I see two missing screws.
Yeah.
So somebody, I don't know what kind of work was done on there, but I'd have to open it up and take a peek and see, what's going on in there. I haven't even brought up in a Variac. I've just recently got this and I've been busy and haven't had a chance to even do anything about this. But you don't see these all that often. You know,
No.
that's what I liked about it. It's like, oh shoot, what am I going to do? So I'm going to open it up and, but it was just a nice little gift. She goes, yeah, take your time, and because, I don't know, I didn't even know if her friend wants any money for it. It's like, well, okay. I said, I'm something like this unrestored, you're probably, I don't know what you guys think. I was thinking, well, you're probably in that 25-ish maybe or something, you're in that ballpark. You're not going to get a whole lot more. It's when you do the work is when you actually can get, some more reasonable money for it. But, it's not going to fill your coffers if, but I don't think she's necessarily, but hey, it's got a new home. The nice thing is when if you happen to just mention to people about your hobbies, the thing is it avoids something like this finding its way into the trash man's bag, and I thought, wow, what a cool little radio. So that's my recent acquisitions, other than some records for my niece, but that's just to keep her vinyl needs in check. Whenever I go to the show, I try to bring some stuff home from our Brookline events or Wyndham. So just keep feeding her vinyl. But yeah, so that's what I brought home, and
Cool stuff, John.
yeah. Well, all you guys showed some really cool and fun stuff. So this was a fun meeting. So one last thing before I go, I'm going to try next week. I don't know if works for you guys, but I did say I was going to try to restart the off-topic Zoom meeting. So I was going to try and restart that for next week. So in case, oh, there he goes. Andy, good. I'm glad you got that, snuck that in.
Oh man.
Wow.
Oh, is it still showing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that Zenith console that you're looking at is mid 1930s, and I'm not remembering the model number. That belongs to a friend of mine who lives in Billerica. Apparently, it belonged to his wife's grandfather, and he brought it over to me. He says, Andy, can you bring this back to life? And I said, I can sure try. The grill cloth was shredded to hell. The wood was in great shape. I hit it with Howard's, the finish cleaner, the thing that blends the scratches a little bit, and then the feed and wax. The hardest part on this radio was the speaker. It originally, I think, had a 12-inch speaker, and somebody had cut a wooden adapter and put a 10-inch speaker in it, but the cone was all ripped, and the coil was no good on the speaker. So I went up to the antique place in New Hampshire. He had a Zenith speaker of that vintage, 10-inch with a good coil, because I brought the ohm meter, but the cone was ripped. So for $15, he let me take it home. And there's a guy on YouTube who demonstrated how to fix the cone with some watered down Elmer's glue, a skinny paintbrush, and little white pieces of paper from a coffee filter. And glue them over the parts of the cone that need it. And I'm looking at this, and it looks like it's got chicken pox. But it actually sounds pretty good. And I cranked up the volume on it, and it did not distort. So I showed this to my friend, and he heard the video from my phone. And when he came over, his jaw hit the ground. He couldn't believe it came out that well. And I was very pleased. I did not strip that finish at all. I just cleaned up what was there, because I don't strip the finish. I don't know how to do that properly. But I was thrilled at how it came out, and I'm glad that sharing is working, so I could show that to you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you stuck that in. That is awesome.
All right,
I love it.
I'm going to try to. All right, that's the other picture from the front. Let me see if it'll let me zoom in.
Oh, yeah.
The dial on these, I happen to like.
That's pretty.
Really cool.
That is pretty.
And and all of that works. We found all four of the knobs, but there is a guy out there that will make a repro knob for you if you need it. He charges $30, but he'll do it. But I just thought the dial was real cool. And I'm glad to have a couple of minutes to say, yes, I'm pretty sure the technology issue has been fixed. And
yay. Oh, cool. No, I love it. I love the cabinet design, the contrasting wood colors, the dark inset. That's
Yep.
gorgeous.
Yep.
Gorgeous.
Glad I could share that with you guys.
Yeah, no, glad you did, Andy. That is wow. We had some good stuff tonight. Lots of good
Yeah,
stuff.
this was a great meeting. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Well, then we did run a little bit over, but it was worth doing. But I appreciate you guys hanging in an extra 15 minutes or so. And meanwhile, I wish you guys a great rest of your week, a great weekend. I will throw a flare. I was starting to say is I will try and restart the off-topic Zoom next Wednesday if you guys are up for it. I think I can do it, and we can come up with some topics on the fly. It's whatever comes up. I know there is a fun Chrysler turbine video that restoration that Joe Devonshire shared about restoring the classic '64 Chrysler. So we could watch that, and there was all sorts of interesting related things. But this will be whatever topic comes to mind.
Yeah,
Related.
I've got a lot of turbine car stuff. So I could share some of that stuff too.
Yeah, good. So anyway, I will send an email probably on Sunday to the group, and if any of you aren't on there, want to be, just join it either manually through Groups.io or email me, and I'll add you manually.
I'm afraid I'm going to be in Enigmaville in Germany, John.
Oh,
I
wow.
hate to miss that, but if I joined,
Oh,
it'd
that's
be like
cool.
3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, take lots of photos, Tom, because we're gonna have to have a Friedrichshafen Zoom meeting anyway.
Yeah, but I'd like to take you out on my Massey Ferguson tractor.
That too. Well, you could do the next one.
Yeah, right. I haven't shown the bulldozer pictures yet. I guess I
Oh, you got
showed
to
the
do that.
backhoe.
Yeah, that was fun. This thing, this will be open, whatever comes to mind. So Tom, definitely when you're back, but you've got an exciting trip. So I'm pretty jealous, if I might say. So, one of these days I got my butt out there. But if we don't talk to you, safe travels and have a
Thank you.
great time. And may you find some Enigma and other fun things to go jam in the belly of the plane to take home.
Yeah, well, may the airline find fuel for me.
Oh no, that Pereira guy's got too much weight on the plane. Right.
Overweight and oh well.
That's all right. You can get one of those the Anatov Russian jets to go fly in all your haul.
Right.
But anyway, guys,
All
uh,
right.
it was great seeing you guys. Have a great
Yep.
evening, great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon enough.
All righty.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
All
All right,
right.
guys, take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Care.
Bye now.